when we get in an imbalance, obviously there are going to be an overgrowth. Chronic illnesses, diabetes, or autoimmune disorders, or even cancer, everything is related with parasites. It's like a universe inside a universe and other universe. So you have like colonies inside of you of good bacteria, bad bacteria. As I imagine, it's like the fractal of the fractal of the fractal, the universe.
Oh, I'm going to eat more healthy and it's going to fix the problem. But it's like if that fungus that's literally growing in the inside of your gut lining isn't removed and all those parasites are not removed, how can you start absorbing your nutrients? How can you start bringing your metabolism back and bringing your vitality and your energy back? It's like you're weighed down by your old emotions. You're weighed down by the parasites that are holding on to your old emotions, literally and figuratively.
If you're feeling bad and you ignore your symptoms, in the future is going to pay you the bill. But in my case, it was like, I need to really address what is going on because I cannot ignore, and then I become more sick because I want to ignore my problems and I want to ignore that I have the parasites. And I don't want anyone to know because I am going to be really shamed.
Welcome to the We Are Healing in Paradise podcast, where we are cultivating the new earth by reconnecting with our true nature and healing the planet from inside each of us.
Oh, the other side.
Welcome to We Are Healing in Paradise podcast. My name is Kate.
My name is Rosario.
We're here at LaCanopée in the center of Playa del Carmen. There's a lot of noise, a lot of things happening, and we had like a really exciting morning today.
With trapeze. Yeah, we were doing circus stuff.
Yeah, we took trapeze lessons this morning and did some crazy things. And now we're ready to sit down and share a little bit more about a very controversial topic.
Parasites, right?
Do you have parasites? Is the question we're asking today.
So we're really passionate to talk about this topic because we think 99% of the humanity have parasites, and it's normal to live with that because it's part of nature. But the thing is, like, when we get in an imbalance, obviously there are going to be an overgrowth. And then this is the thing. The chronic illnesses, diabetes, or autoimmune disorders, or even cancer, everything is related with parasites.
Yeah, exactly. And in like Western medicine and in a lot of circles, people don't really talk about the concept of having parasites in your digestive system.
No.
And it's something that is normal in a way. Like we all have it. But when you have the imbalance is when you get the symptoms or you get a disease.
Well, in the Mexican tradition, something that they say is like the diseases doesn't exist. The thing that exists is like the diseases are. It's like you have three. It's like vomit, diarrhea, or fever, because it's like your body's processing something. Something that is further than that. In the ancient Mexico, they don't even know it because we didn't have this life of, I can have this fruit of this season, mix it with the other fruit, and later at night I have a lot of cereals that comes from another area, and like mixing, and then having a beer or having like a full pack of cigarettes every day, right? So like everything that we put in our organisms are triggering things and getting an imbalance. So obviously, like, all your microbiome is going to be affected, and for me, my understanding is like the gut is the second brain. So if we don't take care of it, how we're going to be more aware of what is happening here, right?
In our mind, yeah.
In our mind.
Our gut has more neural connections than our brain. And the human colon is the most intelligent organ that has evolved to this date because it has so much memory in the cells and so many neural connections. Like it remembers everything. So actually our colon and our intestines are more intelligent than our brain. And so so when you say you have a gut feeling, like it's really, really important to trust that gut feeling, because actually like your gut is more intelligent than your brain, because it's remembering all the emotions, it's remembering everything that happened. And when you have like something really traumatic emotionally happen, it can actually secrete like acidity into the body, into our digestive system. And then when we have also an acidic environment with processed foods and alcohol and things like this, we I feel like I should just like
It loves
stay
you.
like this with the plant. We are one with the plants here. But it's creating this like pH imbalance like we were talking about. But it's interesting because in that moment, when you feel the emotion very strong, or you feel the stress, it's like our digestive system can shut down, especially if it's a stressful thing that happens, because we go into the sympathetic nervous system instead of the parasympathetic. And then our body's like, oh, we'll work on digestion later.
Can you explain a little bit like the difference between both, the parasympathetic and the
Sympathetic and parasympathetic.
Uh-huh.
So the parasympathetic is rest, digest, heal. And sympathetic is the fight, flight, or fawn. So the sympathetic is our stress response. And it's like if we were in nature, if you go way back in nature, we're like living in a cave. We go out to like forage for food, and then we see like a predator. And so we go into the sympathetic, and what happens is all the blood goes out of our extremities. So like all of our digestive system like sort of shuts down in that moment, and our heart starts to be able to pump more blood. Our eyes, we can actually see things more clearly and more focused, and all the blood goes to like our arms and legs, so we can like run or climb or do something crazy. So we now get stressed out by looking at our phone and seeing our bank account, and we think a predator is attacking us, and so all this stress response is happening to make us ready to run, but we're not running anywhere. And so all that, what happens is you have higher blood sugar, higher blood glucose levels during that time, and so everything's going up, getting ready to exercise, but we're never exercising. We're just sitting at the desk stressing about something.
Yeah, like survivor mode, but without needing like to surviving in the nature. It's just surviving into the mind, into this reality.
Yeah, exactly. And then the parasympathetic would be like you go back to the cave, and it's dark and it's quiet and you feel safe and there's no stimulation. So that's the thing about the parasympathetic that is really hard to access in our modern day, is that we are constantly stimulated. Our phones, conversations, like driving, walking.
Not sleeping enough.
Yeah, not sleeping enough, or having a lot of light pollution when we're sleeping. Like all of this, like people are never getting into their parasympathetic. And so no wonder we have so many digestive issues, and no wonder our digestive system has become a host for parasites, because it's like super imbalanced, and there's a lot of acidity there because it's constantly getting stressed and shutting down, getting stressed and shutting down. It's like, when do we get to work properly?
That's why a lot of people doesn't have like any energy, because it's like they're in this mode, and then they start eating like they don't think what they're eating, so they become more anxious because it's like feeding the colonies, the bad colonies, and this life of sedentarism. So I feel like it's like a buckle. It's really, really hard to take it out. And some people can be aware, but sometimes even the work they have or is super stressful, or they have a lot of responsibilities, is really hard to come back. So another thing that I know that you like to address is breath work. And I want to ask you what do you recommend usually like in the mornings or something to change to the sympathetic to the parasympathetic system?
Oh yeah, because you can do this with breath. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you can access your parasympathetic through your breath. And one thing that I learned in my yoga teacher training and just all the years of practicing yoga is that when you exhale more than you inhale, it's a way to access the parasympathetic, because you can think of your stress response is we breathe very shallow, and we usually hold the breath. Like if someone startles you, you're like, and you freeze up, you know? And so it's like you want to do the opposite. You want to breathe deep into the low belly, really expand, let your belly be soft and vulnerable, like really expand your belly, like let go of that tension that we have in our solar plexus and our gut. And then from there, if you can exhale longer than you inhale, which is something that we don't really think about and we don't really do. But so sometimes I'll count the breath, like count 4 counts in and then 8 counts out or something like this. And if you just close your eyes, let go of that stimulation that's coming from the outside world, and start to breathe really consciously into your diaphragm, and then breathe out longer than you're breathing in. Within a few breaths, you'll start to access the parasympathetic. So it's a really cool little like hack to help you get there.
How many times do you recommend this technique in the morning, or even during the day? But like the minimum.
I mean, the
If I
minimum
have to work.
Yeah, I mean, the minimum could be just like 3 to 5 breaths. Like it's gonna be good. But I mean,
but
obviously,
it's shallow, like really deep.
really deep. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to get the best benefits, like 10 to 15 minutes. Like it really takes the body to go deep into the parasympathetic to access the subconscious mind. It really takes the body like 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on the person. So like you're going to stimulate the parasympathetic and start to bring your body like out of stress state and like into balance with the breath, with a few breaths. But if you want to go deep into like a healing phase, because the parasympathetic, when we're deep in the parasympathetic, that's when our body heals itself. Our body can naturally heal itself. But why are we so sick right now? Because we don't have a healing environment. We're constantly stimulated. We have a lot of stress and we're sitting. We're not even using our body. So how are we going to heal?
Yeah, and we're doing like a lot of cortisol, this hormone that start unbalance everything just because it's like the nerves are like, your wind is like in the spike, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. So all of this chaos creates a breeding ground for parasites. But like what me and Rosario find with our clients a lot of times is like they don't believe they have parasites. People think like, I don't have parasites. Like,
I am from there and I live like that. So I always eat well. So how you dare to believe that I have parasites?
Yeah.
You know, like I look good. But imagine this is the ego thing. Like a lot of people doesn't realize or don't want to be fully awake that this is a real war. You know, like
happening inside of us.
yes. Yes.
The war is inside of us. And like there's a lot of like I think a lot of people feel like if we say to them like, oh, you have parasites, and like when we're doing our deep detoxes, like our intention is to like clean the gut and get deep into the house of the worm and like get the overgrowth of parasites out and create a new healthy microbiome, new healthy balance. So when we get deep and we start to say like, oh, we think that, we've hit something, like now we're working with the parasites, we're getting them out, then they're like, it's like they feel like they did something wrong. Like they made a mistake and that they're a bad person and that's why they have the parasites.
Yeah, it's like a shame thing. Like, oh, like if you know that I have that, it's going to be like, they feel like a stab. The first time that I realized that I have parasites, like I know about it and I never did a cleanse because it's like, yes, I know that people have parasites, but yeah, it's part of nature. Oh, I'm going to eat a pizza. I'm going to have a beer. I don't care. I'm going to smoke 30 cigarettes per day. Like I was doing like crazy. I was abusing a lot. But this is the thing. Like a lot of people believe they're Superman or Superwoman and then just start destroying their body. And then the problem is like at the moment we start realizing about parasites, is the last thing is like, no, maybe I'm going to solve the problem with more medications. And the medications that the only thing that do is work with immune cells. So sometimes, like in my case, it was like immunosuppressors, steroids. So it's just like I just cover the thing, and my body is going to work with the thing that is inside, but I'm not taking anything out. And the moment I start realizing that, I discovered the infections and everything. Obviously, I have like shame. For shame for what? Like I need to realize that I grow with this, and in this era, we don't have the same like 100 years ago. Like, oh, you have something? Okay, I'm going to give you some herbs, and then you do a purge, the parasites, and then they're good. But they do this like every 3 months or every month, like something super common in a lot of tribes. But after the pharma, like it's more easy, the access. Oh, I have something, I have a gas, oh, omeprazole, or I have gastritis, sorry. So everything is related now, like, because we have the easy exit way.
Yeah, we think like, oh, I'm just going to take a pill that's going to solve this problem. But the reality is it just sort of puts a Band-Aid on your symptoms for a short period of time. Like maybe it kills the parasites that are active, but they've already laid eggs. There's more coming. So it doesn't address the root cause. And like what like we're obsessed with is like going deep and like addressing the root cause, and then to come full circle back to like when you felt that stress and that emotions and your stomach cramped up like maybe 5 years ago because you were going through a divorce or something really intense. Then when you do the detox, you get there, then it's like, whoa, you open up like all these emotions from your past.
Yep.
Because it's all stored there. It's just been sitting there. Like actually there's like old shit, to not be vulgar, but that's the reality, like that just got frozen in time, in that moment, and the parasites are living in it, and they're holding on to it.
It's really attached because it's a mycelium, it's a fungus, right? So it's just like it's going to stay there forever if you don't do anything. Even like doing fasting or changing your diet, like you can do a lot of things, but if you don't realize that also you need to be calm and understand that everything, you need to be gentle with your body and address that we store emotions that can be 30 years ago. There is a lot of people that heal just knowing what is the root cause of their emotions, and then everything starts changing because it's like we are like a laboratory. So we work with a lot of chemicals and hormones that is inside. And when we are super happy, we are like produce a lot of serotonin and endorphins. You feel like wow, like this euphoria. And then if it's our gut really bad, we have a lot of person with depression, and then we can see like more in people that in the third age, they live with like a lot of pain and the joints, and they're like grumpy. And most is because they didn't address it at the beginning, and now it's so late.
And there's a buildup there.
Yeah.
And they're just used to it, and we say like, oh, this is aging, and oh, my metabolism isn't as good as it used to be when I was younger. And we have all these excuses of why like we just need to suffer. But the reality is like if we can learn how to detox, and it takes time. That's the thing. Like people want to do like, oh, I'm going to eat more healthy and it's going to fix the problem. But it's like if that like fungus that's literally growing in the inside of your gut lining isn't removed, and all those parasites are not removed, how can you start absorbing your nutrients? How can you start like bringing your metabolism back and bringing your vitality and your energy back? Because you are like hosting all these, it's like you're weighed down by your old emotions, you're weighed down by the parasites that are holding on to your old emotions, literally and figuratively. And you're just weighed down by all this stuff, and it's like unprocessed things. And we're in a society also of escapism.
Yes, for sure.
Let's not face the reality. Let's like take whatever drug or drink or watch a lot of TV or like even work out like obsessively, so we don't have to deal with what's really going on inside. And so when you do a detox, it's like you're faced with, I might have parasites. You probably do have parasites is the answer.
Yeah, because it's not about like doing the extreme, like, oh, I'm going to look only good on the outside, and then I do like 4 hours per day of exercise, and then I go and eat a pizza. Yeah, it can work for a while, but at the end it's not working because you're destroying from the inside out. And then there's like, obviously for me, like if you do only eating is good, but also you need to move because we're humans and we're supposed to move, like when we were going to hunt or grab the like movement. We walk. We are animals that we walk in two legs. Yeah. So we are formed to walk long distances.
Yeah, the human is meant to walk up to 12 miles a day.
So imagine, how much are you walking every day?
Yeah, exactly. So basically the human body is very complicated. And so this journey is not something that's like super simple, like one treatment is going to work for everybody, one pill is going to work for everybody. Like it's really simple. It's like very complicated. The amount of parasites you have and what types of parasites could be also very diverse depending on what you've been doing in your life and this emotional stress. And
supposedly to build cancer, you need to have more than 12 species that already have like a lot of colony, like they grow, and then like the cancer start breaking down. So it's just like, imagine there's people, they have like 18, 20 type of species of, and then if they catch it so late, like if you don't address, if you're feeling bad and you ignore your symptoms, in the future is going to pay you the bill, because it's like you need to address everything that you're feeling, sit with it, and everything is related with the things that you had in the past, because it's the same. We are humans, that we live with emotions and trauma. We remember, we think. So I feel like, in my case, I want to say, yeah, but in my case it was like I need to really address what is going on, because I cannot ignore and ignore and ignore, and then I become more sick because I want to ignore my problems, and I want to ignore that I have the parasites, and I don't want anyone to know, because I am going to be really ashamed. But at the end, no, like, I'm more proud now that I can know what was going on in my body, and then I can take it out, and then I can help people to take this out and live in a better life, and don't have these symptoms of being depressed or angry or anxious or super sad all the time. Sometimes people, we have like, oh, I'm sad, and it's because they are not producing the serotonin in the system, and they have only the cortisol super high, and a lot of acidity and pain and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is the bad symptoms.
Yeah, all these symptoms are just a sign that your body is asking to come back into balance. So come visit me in Rosario in Playa del Carmen. Come do a custom detox with us. And we want to go deep. We want to go deep into the emotions. We want to go deep into the parasites. You do have parasites, like probably almost 100% chance you have parasites of some kind. And we can get to them with like the variety of our detox protocols. So this is what we're doing to ourselves all the time, cleaning our body, learning new ways to heal with food, herbs, fasting, juice fasting, intermittent fasting, all the things, and learning how to balance the hormones with food as well. So we'll be back with another podcast next week. If you like this video, if you're watching on YouTube, please comment, please subscribe, please share with your friends. If you are listening to us, please also share this podcast and give us a good rating. We want to spread the word that no matter what war is going on inside of you, we can heal it, and together we are more powerful.
Yay, we're one together. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.